And for you.
Choosing a home refinance product that matches your goals while making sure you get the best rate for your given scenario can feel like playing a game of whack-a-mole. Here to help make the home refinance process a whole lot easier so that you come out winning is Matt, the mortgage guy. Welcome back to the show, Matt.
Hey, good to see you.
So are people still buying real estate during the pandemic?
People are still buying, and the Sacramento real estate market is on fire. Part of the problem is not enough people are selling, to be honest. So we've got that's driven by low interest rates, not a lot of inventory, not a lot of people selling. And so each house is getting 12, 15, 20 offers. Anybody who's in the market to buy a house right now knows that it's easier said than done.
Wow. Now, you mentioned low rates. Does that translate to people also refinancing?
Oh, for sure. It's been a humongous year for all mortgage companies across the nation. Refinance volume, just numbers wise, because I'm a math geek. The mortgage industry as a whole will do about $1 trillion worth of mortgages per year. 2020, we're on pace to do something like 10 trillion, and rough numbers, about 6.5 trillion of that is refinance. So there's a ton of refinance, tons of people that can benefit from it, and that's why they're taking advantage of it.
Well, what is this I'm hearing about a new refinance tax?
Yeah, so last week the FHFA, who basically is the entity that mortgages and sets the rules for all intents and purposes, came out with, they called it like an adverse market conditions refinance tax, and basically placed it across all refinances. Every single mortgage company everywhere, when they're selling to Fannie and Freddie, have to pay this tax. And so it's a small tax, and at first there was a lot of people up in arms and really upset about it. After it's kind of settled in, the market's rebounded a little bit, rates have come back a little bit, I think a lot of us are coming to realize we're still at historically low rates. It's not that big of a deal. There's talk of it maybe being overturned, so that might actually happen in the future. But the thing to remember as a consumer maybe is that like this small refinance tax is going to have very little effect on you, the consumer. Rates are still at historic lows, and there's still hundreds of thousands of people that can benefit, save thousands of dollars through refinance.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Do you have any advice for someone who may be looking to refinance?
Yeah, and like I tell my clients or anybody referred to me, let's review it. Let's take 5 or 10 minutes to review it. A lot of people will be on hold with DirecTV for 30 minutes, and they'll go through trying to get free HBO or save $20 a month. But then they wait months, or they don't review their mortgage. It's fairly easy. Anybody can, with the latest mortgage statement and a guess of your credit score, give you a really good and accurate idea of what it would look like. And so that's what I recommend. Just talk to somebody who you like and trust, get an estimate, and review it and see if it makes sense. Any good mortgage originator is going to be able to talk you through it, kind of show you the cost versus the benefit.
All right, so you're saying they just got to look through it, and then they'll know if refinancing is going to be a good idea for them, especially when they consult an expert. So why should a prospective homeowner or someone who wants to refinance, why should they choose Matt, the mortgage guy?
Well, I like to think that I'm giving people straightforward and honest advice. And, to be completely honest, in Sacramento especially, and in California as a whole, there's a ton of good mortgage folks. So I'm not the only one out there, but folks that operate like I do, ethically like I do, are advisors. We're not salespeople. And so I'm simply presenting it. And really my job in 2020 is easier than ever, because I'm just showing people their options, and I'm saying, look at this option. It's going to cost you $100 in cost, and it's going to save you $4,500 per year in interest. Over the life alone, that's hundreds of thousands. But even in the first year, you're breaking even on that cost. It's a pretty easy sell, in my opinion, and it's cool. It's cool at a time where people really need it more than ever. They can save $300-400 a month on their biggest payment. So their budget as a whole, like I said, they'll spend an hour with DirecTV trying to save $20 a month. There's different areas where people might be looking to save in 2020. The mortgage is generally the biggest one.
Yeah, and it's always nice to talk to someone that knows all the options and has great insight. You're also a member of the Better Business Bureau, correct?
Correct, yeah. Joined up with them and went to their facility last year and got to meet a bunch of people involved there. And really, the Better Business Bureau, I chose to get involved because they really align with what me and business represent is, trust between consumers and businesses, somebody who they can talk to, they can trust, and it's going to do business ethically, is something that, to be completely honest, mortgage folks got a bad rap through this last crisis. A lot of the fingers were pointed at mortgage folks, and some were operating unethically, some were doing things that was not in the best interest of consumers. But in my circle, there's so many good mortgage folks out there that truly care about consumers, and so those of us that are doing it ethically and partnering with places like the Better Business Bureau to really give consumers the faith that they can come to us and we're going to give them good advice.
All right, Matt. Well, I appreciate all the insight you've been sharing with us, and we love having you on our show. For more refinancing options without the hassle, you can visit mattthemortgageguy.com. You can also find him on YouTube.